Bands, they talked about it. 3 jungle bans, first pick Lisa in. What's the plan there?
Well, those are pretty much the strongest 4 junglers right now, and Amazing has said multiple times that he's most comfortable on those champions. So if someone's really comfortable on a certain amount of champions, you can take them off those champions, then it's a good strategy, so we went with that.
It seemed to work out well for you guys. Let's talk about the early game, though, because this was a pretty slow early game, and both teams had 2 versus 0 lanes. So each team basically gets to control 2 lanes. You know, the mid lane they're fighting, and then one side lane. What did that strategy? Did you guys develop that coming in, or did that just kind of develop as the game unfolded?
Well, without going too much into our strategy, it sort of just happened as the game unfolded because the 4v1 or the 4v0 pushes that you saw a lot at the end of last split aren't really as good anymore because teams have learned how to counter it, and the towers are tankier now, so they don't go down as fast. So it's just basically a new strategy that's come around.
Okay, so then as the game kind of unfolded, right, you had this weird situation where the top lane has been jungling the entire time. You had like 67 CS combined, like you and Balls together at 10 minutes. How do you get those guys back into the game? They've got to be tanks at some point.
Okay, well, the best way to get the top laners back into the game is with ganks. And in the beginning of that game, it actually went both ways. Amazing got first blood on Balls because he was a little overextended as Trundle. Champion doesn't really have great escape, so he was able to get caught by Xin Zhao with a good flank. And then right after that, me and Balls were able to get a kill on Dyrus. So basically, ganks are the best way to get them back into the game because due to the fact that they've been starved for so long, they are weaker than most champions. But the junglers, they're not really ahead, but they've at least been farming their jungler the entire time, so they're somewhat strong. And I think we both had Ellie Lizard at the time, so that's probably the best way.
Yeah, so there was a little variation between you guys and TSM in the beginning of the game, but really the difference in this game came down to objective trades in the mid game. So let's bring up a replay of one of those objective trades. Cloud9 just did it better. You guys use in this one the advantage of Balls having his teleport up and using Dragon to draw TSM out. Can you walk us through this replay?
Okay, so I think at this point, Dyrus didn't have TP, so they had to 5-man group, and then they started Dragon because Balls was pushing top, and then we just had Balls TP in the middle of their team, and I think we had better positioning than them, so we were able to sort of split their team off with Balls' TP, kill their front line, Turtle sort of got caught back here, and we were able to get a really good fight. And then we messed up after it because we didn't notice where Lulu was. We thought he sort of ran away, but he was in our jungle, and so we started Dragon, couldn't do it, Lulu came back, scared us off, and then they ended up getting it, which was a good outplay by them, but I think we still came out ahead overall because of all the kills we got.
Yeah, it was 3 kills for a Dragon is generally pretty positive for your team. So then after that Dragon fight, you guys were up a couple of kills, you're up a couple thousand gold, and we have this like 20-minute stint where it's like Ball split pushes off on the one side, and you guys are like just dancing at Baron. Why was this 20 minutes long? What kind of broke it? You guys finally chose to fight later on.
Well, it was a long game because both teams didn't really want to overcommit for something that could lose. It's the first game of the season, so I think we were both kind of nervous going into the game, and I think we had the advantage most of the game, but our Lee Sin's not really a champion that's just easy to force things on people, into the mid and late game, because if you try flash kick and they flash out, you sort of just end up in the middle of their team by yourself. And so stuff like that, it just led us to, we had a lot of control over dragons and some of their buffs, and it felt like we weren't really going to get any more behind as the game went on, so we sort of felt comfortable waiting for them to make a mistake. We tried a lot of Baron baits. They handled it pretty well. We weren't able to get it, but then finally we were able to get something that worked.
So after your first game of the season versus the new TSM, what's your overall take of this new look that TSM are bringing?
I think TSM's looking really good now. All their players are good, and I think we just happened to win this time.
Okay, so I have one final question for you before we send you on your way. We'll be seeing you throughout the week, though. For those of you guys who don't know from home, Hai suffered a collapsed lung during the off-season. That's why he wasn't with you guys at All-Stars. He's, of course, here on the stage recovering. But how much time have you had to play now with him coming back after health issues?
We've been able to practice with Hai for about a week and a half. I think there were 2 weeks after we came back from Paris where we could practice. But we took a few days off just to go back home and visit family because it's really the only break we would have before this season started. So basically, I think we had maybe 6 or 7 days of scrims with Hai coming back. And it was really hard because when you miss almost a month of practice with a player, it's pretty devastating to the team. So we were losing lots of our scrims and weren't really sure how we would do coming into the season. But I still don't think we're at our best form. And it'll probably take a couple weeks to get there. But I'm glad we won today.
And how's Hai doing?
Hai's doing a lot better.
Good. Okay, well, Medias, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
We'll see you 3 more games this weekend. Now, guys, after the break, we're going to keep the games rolling with a showdown between Curse